Check out this year's gorgeousness with the squashes. Beautiful. But I'm gonna need your help with identifying some of the squashes. Not this one though. This is a pineapple squash. No, it doesn't taste like pineapple. But at the end, I am gonna take it in and cook it up, and we'll do a little taste test. What's going on today, Maureen? So I'm gonna need your help identifying some of these squashes. Yes, I did put tags. Some of the tags, they faded. And some of the tags we can't actually find. But there are some squashes, of course, I know. But I want to make this video about all the good and the bad and the ugly that's been going on this summer. So it's 26 degrees Celsius, which makes it, I think, 82 Fahrenheit. It is going to go up a little bit more. We don't have a lot of sun because today we actually have a lot of smoke in the air. On the island here, there hasn't been a lot of smoke in my area, but today I can actually smell it. But when I said this is the year of the bean, this is the year of the bean. This is garden bed 1, and it is full of beans. So basically all of this is red kidney beans for drying. On this side, this is all my green beans that we are using to eat and also to pickle. And I've got Romano beans over there, and on this one, I think these are the Kentucky Wonders. There is a really nice mix. So I'm gonna put this as a good. The only bad thing that I have is I really needed a designated line, which I sort of have. You know, I kind of went up until the pole, but you know, some of these beans are folding over this way. I've been kind of trying to push them back so that they stay over there, because we don't want to pick the drying beans. We only want to be picking the green beans here. That's all. There's a nice looking one. So we have done a couple of feeds with them. And then as well, I've also done a pickling with them. I learned from my mom open kettle canning, which, you know, she did, and as well as my grandma. And so the great thing is when you do open kettle canning, if you only have a small portion, you can do 1 pint jar, you can do 1 quart jar, you can do 2. I'm gonna leave a link up here to show you my open kettle canning for pickles. The thornless blackberries are looking great, and of course the chickens, they've been out there picking them. The peppers, they did come back. I know it's probably hard to see them in amongst with all the greenery of the beans in behind, but we've got some jalapeno peppers here that are probably going to be ready to pick. Everything needs some water because it is pretty dry out here. Another blackberry bush there, the girls can't get to it. Nice, just standard green peppers. Teeny tiny though. I normally would have my tomatoes, I did cucumbers. And this year I had planted 13 of them in there. And a lot of them died from the heat and also got dug up. Here's one of those things that has been bad this year. So when I would plant out a start, I'd dig a little hole and I would put some of my organic fertilizer into it and then put the plant. And then I would leave it and I just keep an eye on it. You know, from a distance you see it's looking great. But then a few days later, the plant would go over and I'd go and I'd see that there was a hole dug right beside it. And this is the second year this has been happening, and I finally realized my organic fertilizer, it's granulated, and there's something in there that the rabbits really, really like. So they would come and dig up beside it. So I guess we're not going to be using that organic fertilizer anymore, or I'm going to have to come up with something else. Even though I only have a few of these cucumbers, they have been just prolific in producing. And every 4 days we're coming out and picking a whole bunch. And you look to see if there's anything there. And then 4 days later, there's another one, and they are just coming out beautiful. I did all my cherry tomatoes. So on this side is the sweetie cherry. And on this other side are these ones called strawberry cherry, which is my first time. And it's a little bit of a bigger cherry tomato. So we just tried one today. It's quite delicious. The apples on the columnar apple, they probably should get picked. But we'll just come over here and have a look at these beans. In here, these are the Jacob cattle beans. And then in the back, I also did just some tomatoes. This is where I usually would plant my cucumbers. But the cattle beans are looking very good. And coming along, I can see them, they're fruiting, so that's awesome. The kiwi plant is looking great. Lots of good-sized kiwis growing on it this year. So I'm very happy with that. And we'll go through. And the last bed back here is this one. I had planted faba beans on this side. They, of course, there was some that were dug up. In the very back are supposed to be asparagus beans, but you know, that's as big as they've gotten and they're just not doing anything else. I had planted some zenith beans on this side, but I think the seeds just didn't take. I'm gonna call this a bad or a half bad. We just picked the pears last week, and so they are now starting to ripen, and it was actually a really good pear season this year. There wasn't too many, and they came out in a really good size. You know, it's taken a few years. The pear tree is quite old, and we used to get these gnarly, misshapen pears. But what I find is that because we started pruning and we have wood chips that are breaking down into the soil, it's feeding it and it's getting healthy. Lettuce and herb garden here, it's doing okay. It's a little bit sad, and I think it's just because this lettuce, it was beautiful yesterday. I think it just needs some water. But we've been picking herbs and drying them. Okay, here's an ugly, but in a good way. Nasturtium plant. Look at it. It is just covered in the aphids. Like all of that black is aphids. Just awesome. Nasturtiums are known as a trap crop, so you want to plant those in your garden because it's going to draw away your aphids, and so they get stuck on there, which I just think is fantastic. So then the aphids aren't eating your lettuces and your other things that you do want to have. So this plant right here is a butternut squash, and it is the best butternut squash plant I've ever grown. And I'm actually going to pick my first butternut. He's looking so good. Oh, maybe not. He doesn't seem quite ripe, so I think I'll just show you it. Look at this. He is just beautiful. But I went and punctured him here, so he's got a little wound, but that's a big one. Then I have another one just about the same size right here. He's starting to get big. And another one right here. Those last two, those ones were not that big. So it's just been putting on some sizable size, which is awesome. I know in here that I have spaghetti squash, but I planted some that were from my own seed. So this one is a hybrid. So that seed has been mixed. Most of the other ones have been the traditional yellow. In here, in the second one, this is where I know that, actually I don't know what that is. I thought I did. Maybe that's my butternut. I think that's my butternut squash. And the pineapple squash are in here. And there is two plants, which I thought that I was putting them both over there, but they're not. One is here, one is there. So there is a different plant that's over there. Let's go have a look. It's this. So this is a small one. This one has gotten bigger, and it does say butterscotch, so I think it's something to do with butterscotch. But yeah, there's some more pineapple squash over there. One of the things that has been really bad is the amount of pest pressure that I've had in my front garden, and it's things that have never been eaten before. So I have my sweetie cherry tomatoes here, but they have had a lot of damage. You can see here, it just gets bitten off, you know, and being that it's up so tall, the only thing I can think of is a deer. I've got some peppers here, and look at the damage here. Now this could be a rabbit, but I've grown peppers out here before and never had them touch it. I put the plastic containers on because these ones did look like that a couple weeks ago, and now they're looking better. I was late planting my onions, so I have left them in the ground, and they are still kind of putting on some size, so I'm okay with that. We'll continue more. So here I have my Vortex beans. These are supposed to get 12 inches long, but look at all of this chopped off. Again, I've grown beans here before, never had anything touch it. One of my squashes here, he was hanging, and I came out and he had been eaten. So I left him here so that if they wanted to eat more, they could, which they did come and eat some more. But I don't know what this is. Nope. So, I would call myself kind of a lazy gardener. And this year, not only am I lazy, which is why it's really great to have beans, because I don't do a lot for them. I feed them and give them some water. But I was very late with planting my pumpkins and my watermelons, and so I decided to try to grow them in straw bales and from seed. Usually I put starts out, and I didn't know if they were going to grow or if we'd get fruit, but we do have fruit. Not a lot, but we do. And that pumpkin has actually turned. But here was another place where I had a pumpkin that hadn't turned yet, and a small one, and something came and chopped it. So it was 2 pumpkins destroyed. But I'm super happy that I do have fruit. I've hidden the watermelons, kind of, sorta. So, growing from seed in a straw bale. Look at this. We have doll baby watermelons. 1, 2, 3. He's just coming on 4, 5, 6. This one here is coming a little bit later, but there is 3 on there. Number 1, I'm just impressed that I can grow watermelon. You know, sure, they're only the doll baby ones. It's not like I've been successful growing a big watermelon. There is the Carolina cross. He's a little bit warpy, but he's growing. I don't know if there's any more on here yet. From the looks of it, no. My loofahs, not so great. I did throw out a cucumber here. I'm sure the deer will come and eat that one too. This cucumber is very late for the season. I haven't picked all the potatoes in the potato patch yet. I've gone and done a few. These were all grown in straw bales. Again, super easy, lazy gardening. Just throw them onto the ground, throw some straw over top of them. But I picked all of the potatoes from the off-site garden, and so we're plentiful for potatoes. I'll just let those kind of sit in there. These last squashes are over here, and I don't know what they are. Seeing if there is a tag here. Or no, I already know this is a patty pan, so it wouldn't have a tag. But they're over there. Look at this guy here. I don't know what he is. So there's that one that I can't identify. And then there's this one, which is very different. You know, and there's a few of them in there. I think that one's even bigger. But I don't know what they are. And I don't think I can get in there to get their tag. The farm stand has been active just because, again, when you have those zucchinis and patty pans, you know, you see it, it's like, oh, it's only 2 inches long. And you go 4 days later, oh, how did it get to be 12 inches? So we've been selling off those as well. Let's go and do a taste test of this pineapple squash.
Golden sunlight. If I'm going with you, I know we'll get to the other side.
Oh, it smells really good. It's very tasty. There isn't a lot of juices. I would liken this more to a patty pan. It's drier than a patty pan, so it's not going to, you know, spill out all of its moisture. It's keeping its firmness, and so it makes it really great. So I think it would also work great like in a stir fry. You could also steam it, unlike zucchini, which, you know, it all kind of falls apart. This doesn't do that. It's absolutely delicious. Anyway, I hope you're having a great day wherever you are, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Take care and God bless.